When you meet the right people who are ready to risk everything to make sure they impact your life positively, you might be the luckiest person on this earth to have good friends around you. Matilda and Maachi are willing to risk everything, no matter what it costs, to make sure that Ejike is a changed person. But Ejike has allowed himself to be overwhelmed, so much that his eyes are no longer open to see that Dan is only here to make sure that he is destroyed. Remember, after what happened in the last episode, Chinwe was telling Maachi that she's wasting her goodness by being with Ejike, that Ejike is a bad person. She should just leave this marriage and forget about Ejike. On this episode, I have a feeling that Courageous Billion has listened to his mother-in-law advice and he is trying to set Dan up. But we'll get to find out as we watch the video. It all started on this episode while Matilda was in the sitting room. Ejike and Dan were knocking on the door. And then Matilda had them open the door and she immediately stood up and was like, "What are you doing in my house? What are you doing in my house? I thought I told you not to come here." But the truth is, Ejike is in love with Maachi. He cannot stay without her. Maachi is the love of his life. The only good thing that has happened to Ejike, that is his confession every time. That is why Ejike cannot stay away from Maachi. He has to bring Dan again to this house. I remember on the last episode, Matilda warned Dan not to intervene anytime she is talking to his son-in-law. And Matilda was telling Ejike, "My daughter is not ready to see you. She cannot see you, so you better leave this place." But Ejike was insisting on seeing his wife, Maachi, that after all that has happened, he misses Maachi and wants to just see her. But then Matilda still insisted that Ejike should leave the house, that Maachi will not see Ejike. Dan immediately started attacking her. That why you don't even have a reason why you should come in between their issue, that you are not supposed to come in between. Why are you disturbing this couple? Can you imagine? And Matilda put it straight to Dan. "I have warned you before not to intervene when I am trying to talk to my son-in-law." Dan again with his wicked, heartless, evil advice. "Courage, you better listen to your mother-in-law words of wisdom, advice in regards to Dan, because Dan is only said to destroy you." But Matilda told Dan never to try it again, that this should be the last time he will ever obstruct her when she is talking to her son-in-law. But then Maachi came down and told the mother that Ejike only wants to see her, that there is nothing bad in it. Maachi's mother told Maachi that if you want to see him, no problem, but make sure that it doesn't affect your mental health. And she left. Ejike told Maachi that "I am here to see you." And then Maachi said, "Okay, I'm here. You have seen me. What else do you want?" Ejike was like, "Why are you talking like that? That after all what has happened, we need to be together. You need to come home." But Maachi already told Ejike. Ejike knows what he's supposed to do so that Maachi can come back home. But he doesn't want to do it. That's where the problem lies. Ejike has to go bury the mother so that he can have peace. Because even if Maachi comes back to the house, there will still be no peace. Karma will still come back again to haunt them. So you better go and do the right thing so that Maachi can come back to your life. And Dan started by telling Ejike that, "Look, is this the reason why you have been disturbing me to come here? Look at Maachi talking back at you." But Maachi told Dan that, "We know the kind of person that you are. People like you are always there to destroy others. Do whatever you want to do, but when it comes to me and my husband, stay out of it, or else I will insult you." And immediately Dan was like, "Can you imagine? Maachi is talking back at me that she has plans to insult me." But I'm so surprised how Ejike could support Dan and not the wife. It's okay for Dan to insult Maachi, but when Maachi returns it back, Ejike feels insulted. Why is it like that? Has Dan actually enveloped Ejike with evil? Has it blinded his eyes towards the bad thing that is doing to destroy him? Ejike, you need to open your eyes now before it's too late. When Dan came out of the house with all the anger and everything, Maachi's mother, Matilda, also stopped Ejike. "Come here. I know we have been battling with this whole thing, but I will not stop advising you when I see the need to." Matilda told Ejike that he should be watchful of the kind of person he calls his friend, that she has a bad feeling that this friend is set to destroy him. But Ejike insisted that Dan is the only friend that is standing by him on a time like this, that every other person has abandoned him. But Matilda told Ejike that some friends are not there to comfort us when we fall, but they are there to make sure we don't rise when we fall. Ejike, this is the kind of encouragement and words of wisdom that you don't need to play around with. But then Ejike immediately wanted to even tell Dan what Matilda said. What kind of madness is this? Ejike is such a foolish man. I just hope that your eyes are open before it's too late. But then Dan immediately received a call that obstructed the fact that Ejike wanted to tell him what Matilda said. But Rita came to actually take Maachi out so that she can get her head off this whole thing, because staying in the house thinking about this whole thing will not help. Maachi also needs a space where she can clear her head of things by just maybe things to distract her. And then Chinwe also supported the idea that Maachi should go out and meet some people, that Ejike is a bad person. He came here with bad influence and bad vibes. Maachi should go out and clear her minds from Ejike and forget about him. But Maachi will never do. I feel sad for Chinwe when she heard that they were going with Choma's sister instead of her. I was even having a feeling that Chinwe wanted to go with them. But Ejike, courageous billion, went to his house and Dan came again. But what Dan said on this particular part would have made Ejike to realize that Dan meant nothing well for him. Dan said that it's better that that baby did not even come out. Can you imagine? Is this not enough for Ejike to open his eyes? And Ejike told Dan, what do you mean? That you wish that my baby died? And Dan said, no, don't come with that sentiment. That this sentiment you are coming with will actually blind you from the fact. The thing is, Maachi is always talking back at you. She's not a good woman. So if she's bringing a child, remember that mothers influence their children. Look at the way Maachi's mother is influencing Maachi. So if Maachi comes here with a child, that is the same way she's going to influence that child. So it is even better you don't. In fact, courageous billions, you don't need to focus on this. You need to go and make money. Make money. You are courageous billions. Your business is suffering. You should leave this whole thing and stop being around a woman. You need to work hard, to make more money. And when you make money, you have so many women lined up and you can choose any woman you like. But Dan is failing to understand that Maachi is the only thing good that has happened to Ejike's life after a long time. Money is not always everything, because even with your money, you can still be lonely. What will happen to Ejike when you go to your house to meet your wife? Ejike will be lonely. So don't you have a feeling that Ejike needs Maachi back in his life? When Dan asked who was calling, Ejike told him it's the manager that wants to know what he wants to use for the collateral. If Ejike eventually uses his house for a collateral, he is about to set himself homeless, because he's definitely going to lose that money and they will take this house from him. Ejike will be homeless, and Dan will not allow Ejike to live with him. In fact, that is when Dan will actually laugh at Ejike for his foolishness. But Ejike took the advice. He went to the office and called the manager that he's coming to the office to actually sign the whole thing, that he's ready to use his house as collateral for him to collect money, knowing fully well what is happening around him. Wow. I just wonder how Dan is able to remove Ejike up to a point that he does everything that Dan advised him to do. When he got to the office, he also put a call across to Dan, telling Dan that he should come, that he has made up his mind to go and sign up the document. Now I have a feeling that Ejike is about to set up Dan to really know if what Matilda, Maachi's mother, told him is about Dan is true. I have a feeling that he wants to set Dan up to really find out who Dan truly is. But we'll get to find out about that on the next episode. If you have not liked the video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. I'll bring the next episode as soon as it drops. But for now, take care.